It was going on, everybody. So today I'm going to talk about Gears and my opinion for his best custom build. Now that we can use custom variations in ranked, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys my opinion for like his best custom build. All right, so now we're gonna go over these abilities that I gave him. Now, the first one I gave him was the Sand Clone. Now the Sand Clone, I don't really need to explain why the Sand Clone is good. I mean, it's there's a number of ways you can use it. You can put it behind the opponent. You can teleport behind them, whatever you want. Like you're zoning, and you put it next to them, and bam, you're right next to them. You kind of put it in front of you, the opponent, and make the opponent kind of like respect it, and maybe get a throw. You know, you know, get a quick throw. Like I say, you're zoning, or what I'm saying, you want to get right next to your opponent, get next to him. It's a very good full screen tool. Not only that, it's plus on block, so you can you know there's a lot of ways you can use it, and it's plus 12 on block now, but I don't think it's gonna stay that way. So keep in mind that the next update they could nerf it, because plus 12 is kind of crazy, having on block. But as it stands right now, it's plus 12 on block, and it's just a lot of ways you can use it. So that's why I gave him the Sand Clone. The other ability I gave him was the Quicksand, which is pretty much an enhanced version of the Sand Trap. Now, the Sand Trap had like a weakness where you couldn't really use it as an anti-zoning tool against certain characters, because the opponent had like a really, really quick, projectile, or any projectile in that matter. And let's say you hit the opponent after they got a projectile out and it still traveled towards Geras, he was gonna get hit, right? And it would pretty much trade. You couldn't really use it as a real, like, practical anti-zoning tool, but the Quicksand, however, when he does that little sinking animation right there, he's projectile immune. So if the opponent throws a projectile, now you gotta be quick with it though. See how it went through him? So you can kind of like, from this distance, you can kind of like use the Quicksand as an anti-zoning tool. If you're quick, even though they got the projectile out, it doesn't matter. Bam. Bam. And another great thing about the Sand Trap, Quicksand, is that it gives you Oki. So you guys have seen Infinite Warden Geras. You've seen it enough times. You get the Quicksand, and it gives you Oki. You're right next to the opponent. The opponent has to, like, guess whether or not you're gonna go in for a throw or go in for a meaty and what have you. You can also, like, bait out some wake ups. So let's say you hit the opponent. So because it leaves you so close, you can kind of like bait out the wake ups. Right? Or you can go for a throw. Now he has his command. You can go for a command grab. Punish that shit, So it's a lot of things you can do, because it gives you instant Oki. So you can go from zoning. So let's say you're just hanging out right here. You're zoning, hit the opponent with a Sand Trap, and now you get instant pressure anywhere you are on the screen. So that's really, really good, right? The other thing I gave him was the Gauntlet. Of course, everyone knows about the Gauntlet. You can charge this up, and it gives you more damage on your combos. See right there, it did 27%, but the regular version That's about 22%. So it gives you about like, you know, 3 or 4% extra on your uppercuts. Well, it might add on about 5% more damage on your combos because that first uppercut is enhanced. You see right there, it did 14% right there. But if I charged up, that first uppercut is going to do more damage. See, I did damn near 19% right there, but the regular version only does 14%, right? So you can get a little bit extra damage if you charge this up, you know. And also, everyone knows it's +3 on block, you know. Let me put this back on regular. I'm gonna still doing this. Right? So it's +3 on block. So, but it does a lot of pushback though. So you can kind of like go for a forward, you know, 4-3 after that. But it's plus frames. You know, you can kind of like do something like that. You can kind of like play like a little block, like a block stream mind game. Instead of doing this, let's say the opponent is respecting this string right here. You can kind of like sneak this in. You know, if they're respecting it, you know, just, and, you know, do something like that. Or you can play like a little mind game with this 4-2-1-2. Now that has a flawless block gap. So what you can do is like something like this. You can kind of, you know, do something like that. And like, but the thing is, you can delay this. People are kind of say like, oh, it's got a big gap, but you can delay it. So you don't have to do it quick like that. You can kind of do something like that, you know, and mess with their timing. You know, if they're trying to flawless block the 4-2-1-2, you know, you can kind of like mess with their timing. You know, it's not going to be easy to always, you know the timing. You know, you can get a, or, you know, mess with the timing a little bit, or you can, you know, there's ways you can sneak that in. People think like, oh, just because, you know, it's a big gap, there's ways you can sneak it in and get those plus frames. And also, let's say like you, charge it up. Let's say you throw the opponent, they're trying to do a wake up. Bam, got your crushing blow. You know, so there's, you know, there's ways you can use it. You know. In other ways, because you have the sand clone, you can kind of like charge this up, you know, a little bit more, where in Infinite Warden variation, you couldn't really charge this up unless you know, did something like this. But now you have a sand clone, you can kind of charge up in neutral because the opponent can, you know, the opponent probably, you know, is going to try to like respect that sand clone. So you can kind of like do like a little setup like this. Maybe put it in front of them right there, and then charge up your clone. I mean, charge up your gauntlet. You know, get it like a few ticks. You know, that was a stupid combo, but you get the gist of it, right? You know, you can kind of like, you know, let's say he respects it. You know, now he's respecting it, so now you can charge up your gauntlet. Cancel it. Get a little extra damage on the next combo. Right? So those are the abilities that I picked for his best all-around build, in my opinion. Now, take this with a grain of salt, guys. You can always make your own variations, but this is just my opinion. I'm gonna stop it right here and give you like some in-game footage of me using this variation. And like I said, I hope it helped I hope it helps you create your build. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.
Round 1, fight. Fight. Once more. Brutality. Your death serves Kronika. Geras wins. Round 1. Fight. Next time, perhaps. Round 2. Fight. Finish him!